Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel Organic Yoga Time with Daria. For today's class we're gonna need a yoga block and a blanket. If you don't have one, don't worry, you can still do our lesson without it. Today I have prepared a 30 minutes Yin Yang Yoga inspired class with a target of a split. Find your comfortable cross-legged position where you're seated with a straight spine, both of your pelvic bones are down to the floor, core is engaged, your chin is parallel to the floor. In case you are feeling uncomfortable, there are a couple of modifications you could think of. One of them is just sit onto your heels like I'm showing now. Or you can go back into the seated position, making it a half lotus. Find whatever feels organic to you at the moment. Inhale deeply, raising your arms, joining the palms through the center. Exhale fully, lowering the arms down through the sides. Interlace your fingers at the back and open through your heart center. Then curve your spine, resting the fingers on your lower back, elbows facing down. Let's repeat this movement for a few times. Inhale, open. Exhale, curve. Alright, let's move into the seated position with our legs straightened in front of us. Your feet are flexed and the spine is straight. If you feel that your hamstrings are very tight today, you can place your hands at the back or bend your knees, maintaining your spine in the straight position. Check if you are not curving your spine. Choose the position that suits you the most today. Listen to your body. Set your feet hip distance apart. Place your hands at the back and with a straight spine, start sharpening the angle in between your spine and the floor. Maintaining that straight spine at your lowest point, you can bring your hands on top of your knees, swinging down to your shins, ankles, or even place on top of your toes. We will stay in this position for a little longer, breathing with our abdominal breath. While exhaling, you will be tucking your navel in and hold it in for a few seconds and then slowly let it go. Breathe in and out through your nose. Inhaling, lengthen a little longer. Exhaling, tuck that navel in and go a little lower, just a little lower at each exhalation and holding the breath. Once you're inhaling, lengthen a little longer. Exhaling, grab your big toes if you can. Relax your shoulders and continue breathing. Your neck is nice and long. It is a continuation of your spine. Inhale as you gaze forward and lengthen a little bit longer. Exhale, relaxing, letting the navel go slightly in. Holding the breath, tucking the navel in, pulling it a little bit more in, and then inhale, going up, uncurving the spine. At this moment, we are going to stretch each leg separately. Bring your right leg towards yourself, and while lengthening up, dive forward. Make a nice circle with your arms, clasping your hands at the back. Please have a look while this position is shown from the back. If there is no possibility for you to clasp your arms, you can always just point them toward each other or grab any strap and place them behind in between your hands. And then by this strap, you can walk your hands slowly and mindfully towards each other. Inhale deeply, exhale fully, hold your breath. Slowly come out of the position. Moving on, placing the right foot next to your left inner thigh. Both of your hips are firmly touching the ground. Let's use the same technique, pushing with the arms and the hands from the back, going into the deep forward fold. Can you feel your hamstrings is getting stretched? A little tip here for you. Don't pull towards the legs with your shoulders. Instead, let them rest down. Place your hands where you can reach on your legs or on the mat. I have got an extra challenge for you. You could grab a block, place it against the foot, and then dive deeper into the pose. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Tuck your navel in, holding your breath. If you feel so much pain over here, please don't go super deep today. You can always micro bend your knee, go a little higher, just a few centimeters to find yourself nice and comfortable, and then lengthen again. Dive down. The moment you are waiting, definitely release that block. Help yourself with the hands to get up. Good job, guys. Okay, the next position might be a little challenging for some of you. Try doing your best, but avoid hurting yourself. You are literally turning your shin the other way around, opening your foot all the way up onto the ceiling. You can see now from the back how this position looks like. Both of your hips have to be down onto the ground. If you're unable to proceed with this position today, you can always come back to the previous one. Please listen to your body. Help yourself with your arms to lengthen on your inhalation, gazing forward. Exhale, try going a little deeper, maybe 1 millimeter at a breath. Don't forget to pull that navel in after each exhalation. Helping ourselves with the arms, let's slowly uncurve the spine. This time we're gonna open our knee 90 degrees to the side, still trying to ground that right hip bone down onto the floor. From here, start going lower, walking with the hands and extending ourselves along the leg. If you want that challenge, as usual, you can grab that block and hold onto the block. Try bringing your abdominal area first onto the thigh, lengthening forward and going up out of the position. Alright guys, let's get ready to level up. Return that knee back into the center. Bring the opposite foot in towards your left hip. Hug yourself in, straightening your spine. Let's bounce, straightening the front leg, pushing the heel into our hands, bending the knee and straightening again. Just a couple of moves for an extra hamstring stretch. Well done guys. Now we are going to straighten both of the legs, maybe shaking them up a little bit. And then straightening our spine, we're getting mentally prepared to repeat the same series on the other side. Shuffle that heel a little closer to your left hip, lengthen up, and then make that nice circle, either clasping the hands or maybe getting that strap, or just pointing the direction. Whatever is accessible for you today, please do so. Always pay attention to your body. Don't force yourself into the position you are so uncomfortable with. You shouldn't feel any pain at all. Always remember to breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Hold your breath, pulling that navel in. We're coming out of the position, and this time placing your left foot into your right inner thigh, balancing equally on both of the pelvic bones, straightening the spine. And from your fingers, from your arms, getting down, sharpening that angle between your spine and your leg. Remember, your abdominals are the one that come first, touching your thigh. Then you can start bringing the hands forward, walking a little further, maybe resting your arms down to the floor, maybe grabbing your foot with the hands. Whatever is fine for you today, whatever feels organic to you at the moment. Catch that block if you want and go a little deeper. Always remember to breathe. If your chest can reach in towards your knee, you can rest your neck down. Always feel free to micro bend your knees, inhaling, gazing forward, exhaling, going a little lower. Let's set that block aside, uncurving the spine and changing the position on the left leg. Turning that foot outwards. Make sure your ankle is not curved, resting down onto the ground. A little tip over here, you can keep your knees a little further away if you feel any tension onto your ankle or onto your knee. Other than that, you can keep them hip distance apart or even together for a little extra challenge. I know it's quite tight, but can you go a little lower, just a few centimeters? Is it possible for you to do it on the next exhalation? Great job, guys. I'm proud of you. Moving into our next pose, we're going to open that knee to the side, sitting on both of the pelvic bones equally. Concentrate on letting the left hip bone going down to the ground. Continue going lower. Remember about the possibility to grab that block, going deeper. This time we're shifting that knee into the center, and then we will bounce the straight leg back into the kneeling, and again back to straight. You can grab either the ankle or the heel. Great job! Amazing, guys. Now as we stretch both of the legs, shake your knees, return them into the straight position. In front of you, come into that L shape with your body. Once you're ready, lengthen your arms up, catch your legs or your feet where you can reach, and maybe see that this time you can go a little lower than you started. Now let's get the challenge, grabbing a block. If you can, placing it across the feet, lengthening through the body, and then going back to center. Release the block, set it through the side, bend your knees, hug them in towards your chest, tuck your chin in, and then swing your shins behind. Get into your all fours position. Wrist underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Tuck your toes and breath up into your downward dog. Start paddling the legs, your feet. One, let a breath. Both of the heels are down onto the ground, gaze forward, and step with your right foot in between your hands. Let's ground the left foot down, reach up with your arms, coming into the warrior one, reaching forward with the hands to the ground, and then straighten the knee and bend it back. This is a nice dynamic stretch for the hamstring on the right leg. Take your time over here. And then tuck the toes of the left foot back in. And you can bounce back and forward. And then pulsing the hips down and up, warming up that hip flexor. Rebend your front knee and step into your full plank position. Straight away go into your downward dog. A little walking in the dog, one heel down at a time. Let's step forward with the left foot in between your hands. Grounding the right heel down, reaching up into a warrior one, scissoring the hips forward, opening through your chest. Trying to go a little lower with the hips, reaching forward with your arms, placing them down to the mat, and then let's bounce back and forth, pushing through your heel, and then bringing the weight into the front side, to the foot, into the arms. Let's pulse the hips down to really work our hip flexor, and then straightening the leg and bending the knee, straightening the leg, bending and extending the whole body, all your upper body along the straight leg, feeling the hamstring of the left leg. Diving deeper, bending the knees, stepping into a plank, reaching into the down dog. Let's go into a pigeon with our right shin at the front edge of the mat. Make sure your left hip is close towards the floor, lengthen up through your spine, drop your shoulders away from your ears. If you need any assistance, you can get that block under your right hip to equalize the weight. Check if you have enough space for your forward fold. Bend your elbows and try to lower your chest towards the knee. Place your hand on top of the other and bring forehead towards your hands. You have to lengthen through your spine instead of crunching forward towards the floor. In each asana, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose, and hold your breath. On your next inhalation, gaze forward, press through your palms, and get up, slowly curving your spine, reaching up, nice and tall. Flex your left foot, pick up the knee, and let's switch the legs through the downward dog. Your left foot is going forward, left shin is towards the mat. You remember about the option to set that block under your left hip to equalize the weight. Make sure you are turning that right hip down towards the ground, placing that hand to hand, forehead to hand, and resting down. Still continue breathing in the same pattern. Slow down that breath. Deepen it a little more. Gazing forward, pressing up through your hands, and then engaging through your core, going into the downward dog transition. Once you step forward with your right foot, get the blanket and feel free to place it under your left knee if that's necessary. If you feel comfortable without the blanket, feel free to avoid doing so. With both of your hands, press the knee away and then get the hips up and down. Then raise your arms up, lengthen through your spine, slight back bend is okay. Place your hands down onto the ground. Tilt your right foot 45 degrees to the side. Deepen your hips even lower. If that's accessible for you today, you can lower your elbows down, or you can use that block to keep your elbows a little higher. Choose the option you can go through today. This asana is one of my favorite hip opening positions. So effective for our future splits. Place your hands down onto the ground and help yourself to get up. Bring that foot back in between your hands and then let's bound back and forward to stretch the hamstring and get that hip flexor lengthen up. Let's go into that hamstring stretch. Either stay up, hold your hands onto your thigh, or if you can dive deeper, set your hands down onto the ground Or in the pig position, slide your hands over the leg. Reband that front knee. Tuck the toes of your back leg in, knee off the floor. And then step back into your downward dog. Let's switch the legs. If you need that blanket under your knee, feel free to do so. And then let's work with our hip flexors, hands pressed against the front knee. Bounce your hips up and down very, very mindfully. Let's sit low, lengthen up with the arms above your head. Maybe slide back, bend. And then going into that lizard, tilting the left foot, 45 degrees, hands together in the middle, pressing the elbows down. Option to get that block under the elbows, lengthening through your spine. Or if you don't need the block, just stay on your elbows. There is always an option to stay up onto your hands if the block is still too much for today. Time to bounce back and forward, getting some dynamic stretch for the hamstring and the hip flexor. Remember about the options depending on your flexibility. Either the hands onto the thigh or the hands down to the floor as far as you can reach. Reband the front knee, tuck the toes, leave the knee off the floor at the back, and draw back into your downward dog. Bend your knees, set them down, untuck the toes, sit back to your hips, and rest into well-deserved child's pose. Let's curve the spine, sitting up onto your heels. Congratulations, guys, you're almost there. Now we have to practice our splits. I love using the blanket as a prop to deepen the split. We will attempt the splits in 2 steps. Firstly, your front foot is in between your hands and the back toes are sliding to the opposite direction. You can bounce back and forth here. Once your front knee is in the straight position, you are ready to proceed to the step 2. If you are not able to reach this position at the moment, step 2 is not the best choice for today. Let's place the front foot towards the blanket, and as we did just now during the preparation, you're pushing the back heel even more backwards, grounding the knee, and then trying to deepen your hips very, very carefully and mindfully down to the ground. Deepening the position, bend forward towards the straight leg and stay there. Or if you're ready for that extra challenge, raise your arms up above your head. Guess what, guys? We have to do the same thing on the other side. This time I will show you the modification with a block for the step 2 if you can't reach down to the ground. So remember, if you are not able to proceed with the step 1, we are not going to the step 2. If you can, You're placing that foot onto the blanket, grounding the back of your knee, untucking the toes, and then grabbing your block. And you will be placing the block to cover that space under the hamstring of the front leg. Try to sit with that hip on top of the block and then go down towards the leg or raising the arms up. That's it, guys. Amazing job. Feel free to pause this video now and practice one more time on each side if you want to deepen your split and progress firmly. Whenever you're ready, let's move on to our cool down. We are going to finish with Nadi Shodhana or alternative nose breathing. Take a comfortable and tall seated position, making sure your spine is straight and your heart is open. Relax your left palm comfortably into your lap and bring your right hand just in front of your face. With your right hand, bring your pointer finger and the middle finger to rest between your eyebrows, lightly using them as an anchor. The fingers will be actively using your thumb and your ring finger to close your nostrils. Feel free to keep your eyes closed and take a deep breath in and out through your nose. Close your right nostril within your right thumb. Inhale through the left nostril slowly and steadily. Close the left nostril with your ring finger so both nostrils are held closed. Retain your breath at the top of the inhale for a brief pause. Open your right nostril and release the breath slowly through the right side. Pause briefly at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale through the right side slowly. Hold both nostrils closed with the ring finger and the thumb. Open your left nostril and release the breath slowly through the left side. Pause briefly at the bottom. We're going to repeat this cycle for a few times. If at any point of time you feel that your arm is tired, you can always support your elbow with the opposite palm. These breaths help us to equalize our yin and yang, left and right, sun and moon energy. Here, we're embracing the concept of our duality. If you want to repeat these cycles a little bit more, hold this breath for longer periods of time, feel free to pause this video. Otherwise, raise your arms up and then bring it to your namaste in front of your chest. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with me today. If you would like to have more video like this, please subscribe to my channel, like this video and share it with your friends. Have a lovely day.